Okay, sorry. In my haste, I forgot do. That is important. I don't know that I'm going to survive without it. Okay, so a couple things. First, let's see. The interview that I thought I was going to be posting this week got rescheduled. Conflicts. People had other things going. Great. Not a big deal. Do have two more scheduled that hopefully will be coming soon. One of them with a PM that runs .NET Build and a lot of .NET CLI related stuff. So that one will be very exciting. Expect that forthcoming in the next couple of weeks. I feel like there was something else and I don't remember what it was. It will come to me later. It has been a busy night. And on that note, the reason it has been a busy night, adopted my pup. I'm very happy about this. This is Gilly. She's very cute. Very happy. I know. She looks very intent in this because there's a tiny dog behind my cameraman. So, in this case, she was very intent, but she's just so adorable. She's just so adorable. She's very cute. We won the lottery with her. She is quiet, incredibly obedient. I could not have asked for a better temperament. She is an Airedale Terrier Plot Hound mix, about 9 months old. Humane Society we got her from wasn't exactly clear on the exact birthday, so August sometime. Um, but like we had to do a bath, and she just kind of looked at me like, "Really?" I don't know that she enjoyed it, but she just like I guess we're doing this, so I guess I'll sit here and do this. Like it was just, and then I was sitting out coding. She'd look good in some Get Cracking swag. Ooh, that's a good point. I've not done that yet. I shall consider that, Victor. That is a wonderful idea. But yes, she's a very relaxed little girl, and she is doing her purpose in life, which is existing, so the marmots stop trying to invade our house. So now that she exists, the marmots don't want to get close to the house, and that is all I needed. So, of all the ways to repel marmots from a house, buying a dog I don't know is the cheapest, but it's certainly the most fun for me. So, and we've been practicing training, and she's learning a heel. She's getting there. We've gotten down sit. We started working on lay and shake tonight, and she's picking those up very quickly. Like she's very eager to learn and do stuff. So it's like she's so easy. She's so easy. Like even tonight, I brought her in to put her in her crate, and she was just all happy to go, and she'll just lay there. We picked her up. It was a 5.5 hour drive when we went and got her, and she didn't make a peep the entire 5.5 hours home. It was wonderful, absolutely wonderful. So could not ask for a better little dog. Like she is awesome. So anyway, going back to where we were last time. So last time we were doing a bunch of material design stuff. We may pick some of that stuff up here, but one of the things that we kind of kicked off asynchronously while we were running was starting in on a little bit of XAMLTest related stuff, and we had gotten a PR going for doing resource locks because with XAMLTest it interacts with a running WPF app. It will move your mouse, it will move your keyboard, and having a way of being able to mark that resolved. Having a way of being able to have a test indicate, hey, I am going to be using the keyboard or mouse or focus related stuff hands off, right? That is a useful thing so that two tests can um, prevent collisions. And so XAML test provides a mechanism for that now rather than it being completely on you to do. Because anybody could have done this before and I don't know why I didn't do this inside of the material design stuff. Most of the time I've just dialed it down to not running tests in parallel, which isn't great for speed because in reality things don't have like a lot of tests can run in parallel. But not all of them can. Like we have some theming data driven tests. There's like, I don't know, one for each brush. And those can absolutely run in parallel because all they're doing is popping up, checking some colors, and then shutting down. They aren't using keyboard. They don't not using mouse. They could easily all run in parallel, but they aren't because we've got them dialed down, and there's no way to separate this out. So we got this guy going, and I was going to get this PR open and merged, and then I wanted to look at the Big Loud Jeff. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. And then after that, I was going to look into adding in some MCP support inside of XAML test so that my agent can actually, when it's writing tests for the material design in XAML project, it can actually leverage this as a way of starting the app up, taking a look at it, and that sort of thing. Picture Playwright, but for WPF apps. Kind of what we're going for. It's gonna be an interesting combination. And to be clear, I am aware that there are other um, UI interactive libraries out there for WPF. Thank you, Robert. Yes, 100%. It's just that none of them give me the level of control that I need for doing a theming one. They are perfectly fine for if you are building an app, but as I am building a theming library, I need a level of control and testability that I don't think is reasonable for any other accessibility layer type stuff to work with. So, given that, we're gonna carry on our merry way. The other thing is I may look at trying to port this over from uh or get this ported over to using TUnit because I really like TUnit. And so that might be a thing that we do here in the process as well. The one thing that caught my eye when I was briefly looking at this after it generated it is this spinning up of a new thread down here, right? So that little bit kind of scary. So a thread inside of .NET, if you go through and look at your memory allocations, it's like a megabyte. Like threads are big, and so generally we want to avoid them. And I wanted to look a little bit closer as to why this thing was being built up this way, and understand because we kind of just turned Copilot loose on this, which is fine. But at the end of the day, I still have to own all this code and maintain it, and so we are not shipping anything I am not okay with. So, as is the custom, we are going to go through and do this. For anybody curious as to this app that I'm using, this is the GitHub Copilot app, recently released. I did a whole thing on it last stream. The video is prepping on my YouTube. But you can grab the recording out on Twitch if you are watching this immediately or in the near future and are curious to know more about it. So it is definitely one of my favorite Copilot interactions of all of the GitHub Copilots. Okay, so acquire resource lock async, resource lock lease acquire. Where is, because this is the private constructor, which means it's only coming in via this acquire. Get resource locks. Where is it calling new on resource lock lease? Right here. So it does that guy there. Get requested locks. If there are no locks, because get requested locks, I assume is looking at the enum. Where is get requested lock? Get requested locks. So it's going to go through, find the ordered locks, do it based on the flag, select to list. Going to potentially skip this. The has flag will deal with the none because none is 0. Oh boy. Ernesto Quintero, thank you for the sub. I really appreciate that. Okay, so argument out of range exception, unknown resource lock flag. This is one of those cases that sometimes people forget about with enums in .NET, is that an enum, I believe it's up here at the top. Where is it? That enum at? Just saw it a second ago. Enums are just named numbers. Oh, it's probably right here. And so even though I've defined these things here, unless you do like enum.isDefined or otherwise, like you can technically shove any number you want into this enum and it's perfectly happy. It just won't have a named value to go with that number. So it is having those extra checks around that is kind of important. Okay, so we were coming in here, we were getting the related locks. Get requested locks. If there are none because of the none, we just immediately return empty, which hopefully is a nice static instance. Great. So we've got a default empty one. That's fine. Okay with that. And then we automatically new one of these things up. Resource lock lease. I'm just worried that by spinning a thread on every single one of these, this is something that's going to potentially fire on every single test, and that feels really heavy-handed. Acquire and hold locks. That feels really big. Chris, welcome in. Hopefully you had a good stream. Always good to see you. For anybody not following him, do go check out Chris's channel as well. He does a ton of really cool stuff. And actually, I'm gonna look the cool thing that you were sharing with me earlier, Chris, about the Git bench stuff. Um, I might just show that off if I can. For anybody interested in seeing how your various models actually compare on actually doing Git tasks. So a very interesting comparison. Oh, where'd it go? There we go. One of the more shocking ones is that you look over here. Like, I don't know how many people can see that. That's Opus. Specifically Opus 4.7 sitting over there. So takes me a bit sometimes. Oh, no problem. No problem, Chris. Yeah, no, it was just showing this off for anybody who's interested in it. Seems like the refresh is hitting more than I expect down here. But if you are interested in seeing where these benchmarks actually land on different models and otherwise, I found it really interesting, especially for people who are leveraging models to do a lot of your Git tasks or otherwise. Yeah, I don't like that loading thing, Chris. You asked for feedback. I don't like the loading when I haven't done anything. But regardless, it is a very I'll say eye-opening experience to kind of go through and see exactly where everything lands um, in terms of performance and etc. Oh, oh, it could be as well. Yeah, but it is a pretty slick little tool for anybody interested in taking a look at it. Again, especially if you're doing agent stuff for your Git tasks, it is potentially worth leveraging it. I'd mentioned it to several people before that with all of the pricing changes and similar, I expect that there is going to be a bit of optimization that starts coming where like model selection and tools and efficiency start to become a very key thing that matters to a lot of people, and being able to get the most out of your tokens, I strongly suspect will end up being the big thing going forward, or at least in the immediate future. Okay, this guy here, acquire and hold locks. He's gonna take in the lock names with a timeout, and then go through and acquire these mutexes. I'm a little surprised that this is being done with a full thread. This feels very heavy-handed as a way of going through and doing this. A full thread here. Will likely be created in async context for each test. Want them lighter weight. I really would rather a task-based solution in here or otherwise, because that's going to be a little too much. Now, admittedly, the counter argument here is potentially if you have a lot of concurrency in here, that's going to be potentially a lot of tasks spamming it. But tasks are executed on pooled threads, and so you can have a bunch of tasks that get handled by a much smaller number of threads, and I don't think I expect a bunch of stuff there. So it's going to go through and start rewriting this here in a moment. We'll let it go through and think about it. Get remaining timeout. Interesting to me that it's doing the timeout with a stopwatch. That feels weird to do timeout calculations manually. But I am also aware that this wait function is going to be somewhat problematic because at the end of the day, you need something to have the timeout in there. That seems ironically reasonable. Semaphore cancellation token. Boy, what I change? Repeats the thread with a name. System semaphore handles. Not just do. Because I'm realizing, I think last week my thought had been that we could acquire the locks and they needed to be system level because we have two separate processes that need to interact. But then I was thinking more about it and I realized no, I don't actually need to acquire locks across the processes because there's still just one controlling test process. Like it really only needs to synchronize with itself. I don't like there's no mouse interaction that initiates from the other side. It always starts with the test itself because something has to call app start. And so at that point, it needs to go through is in process only, so it would not coordinate separate test processes. Yeah, see the exact same thing. No, we don't need to deal with processes. Thank you, Dumps Pilot. Could only be used within the unit test process itself. And we may end up going through and dialing it down. I was trying to think if I wanted to have this be a separate API or actually combine it on top of like the app start API. I don't think that's quite right because the slowest part of these tests is spinning the app up and setting the window content. And so we've got several tests inside of XAMLTest that leverage that, where it'll start the app once and then just swap in the content at each test as it goes through, which is great, but it does mean that it makes for there's not really a clean API starting point. I also thought about like the test recorder. You actually working on that now? Good. So when you leave feedback here, it does just end up going into your chat context here. Collapse that. Where it is effectively another prompt, but it comes with the context of where this was done. So it makes it a lot easier to be able to get information back and forth. Whereas in a lot of systems, like if you're just in the regular Copilot CLI, I find that I spend a lot more time trying to get that context in because I either have to pop to VS Code to like set the context and line numbers or otherwise. So he's going to think about his life and the meaning of it and what all he is doing. I do suspect that time remaining could be made cleaner after that point. And it will go through and grab all of that. Because I think I like the idea of making it a lot lighter weight. Because the worst case scenario is somebody misuses this in the wrong process. And I think I'm okay with that. I don't think I ever care to run this cross system. And if I did, or with multiple like UI test projects all firing at the same time, if that ever becomes a thing, I think I might add a switcher similar to be able to elevate at a higher level. But I think the default should be lighter weight. Yep, deterministic acquire release order plus timeout cancellation. The public scoped API is unchanged. Great. Go away. Okay, so inside of here, when we do the acquire, it checks the timeout, throws if there's nothing, great, finds the appropriate number of locks that it's going to get, builds out a list of semaphore slims that it's going to acquire, iterates through each of those, canceling as we go. Um, this seems complicated for just waiting to acquire the semaphore. Just wait a timeout. And yes, I did typo that all over the place. There must be people watching. My typing skill goes down the more people that look. Yeah, because we have that in there as well with the semaphore slim has the ability to wait on a given timeout. I don't think I really want to take in the stopwatch manual timeout stuff. Like that's built into the semaphore. Why are we doing time-based math? Let's see. Fine. Wait async. Wonder if wait async ends up. Guess it's Boolean returning. Wait async remaining. Actually cancel. Mark resolved. Why do remaining just give the timeout to the I kind of have a hint as to the answer here is if we just feed the same timeout to each semaphore, if we go to acquire 3 locks, that means the timeout's effectively 3x whatever the value was. But I'm kind of okay with that. It feels like if I set my timeout to 10 seconds, at each step I'm willing to wait 10 seconds to get it. If I ask for 2 things, I sort of expect two iterations, which I think makes sense. Okay. That makes sense now. That makes sense now. Acquired semaphores. And so what is, I remove the remaining, thanks. Shut up. Go away. This is one area that I really hope they improve at some point is I don't like how much space these boxes take up in the middle. It breaks up the flow of code and I kind of want to just be able to, when I mark them resolved, I want to be able to actually like delete them and get them out of my way. Okay, so that goes there. That goes there. S is in a read-only list of the acquired semaphores. I don't know. Do we ever? I'm guessing the only reason for the setter. Oh, I bet you I know what the setter is for. It's probably for the dispose. It's nulling it out. Yeah, it's nulling it out. Release all. Iterates from the back. Calls release on each of them. Sure. Let's see. Make this a nested function. No point in moving that outside if it doesn't need to be. And after that, I think it's pretty good. As long as all the tests pass, I think it's probably fine. Then I am going to go down here. Come on, hurry up. Come on, Dunce Pilot. Let's go. Sorry, it is Copilot has not been my friend today, and so in an effort to inform it of my superior dominance as the engineer, I have proceeded to insult it and call it Dunce Pilot repeatedly today. That's the only thing that feels appropriate. Stage. Let's see. Done. Mark is resolved. Okay. Goes there. That goes there. That looks better. Izzy, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Don't let me forget, Izzy. I was actually going through and thinking about the Enigma app earlier today and wanting to get back into going through and building it. So if you don't hear from me in the next 24 to 48 hours, ping me on that because I wanna discuss and get rocking on that again. Okay. I'm gonna do that. Already an open PR for this, so we are, yeah, got it. Thank you. I'm gonna jump out here and enable auto merge, and we're gonna let that guy rock and roll for a little bit. Okay, he's gonna think about what he's done and contemplate his life choices and all of that stuff. Lovely. Okay, so we have the MCP tools here, and I'd like me to open that PR. I want to see. I want to open this one first because I just moved the. Got too many Krakens open. I only want these. Okay, because I just moved this one here, so I actually want to make sure that this one gets rebased onto a different branch. It's a long day at hospital today. Don't rush. Like again, I wanted to discuss on what I needed to do as next steps. So, I believe what I want to do is this guy here. I would like to interactive rebase and that put it up there, and then go ahead and push that for the moment. Get up there. Yeah, go ahead and force push. That gets that up there. And then I want to pop my Visual Studio and take a look at this. Because this isn't one that I realistically want to completely review here. But I do want to get this. I want to get something in here going. Yeah. Because this is a simple interact. App ID. Okay. This is where I want to see how this thing is being set up. Because this is going to be an awkward one to go through and test a little bit. But I believe what we have here, what I hope it is done, is this MCP is set up as a local tool. This is good. This is what I want. The hosted builder may end up actually being a problem at a certain point, but it makes for a nice, easy injection point. And what I mean by a problem is startup time. Quicker to not use it, but what are you complaining about here? Change app service manager to call GC. That's probably fair. Though this guy's a singleton, so it really doesn't matter that much, but what are you wanting here? Let's see. Change all GC. This will prevent derived types that introduce final items or from the, or hear me out. We just seal the sucker. Okay. That guy goes in there. No. Thank you, Copilot. We will not be making that change. And then these are all of the descriptions for the tools. So we have app tools, which is start app, which does the needful. Start app with XAML snippet. Shut down app, save screenshot, do expose activate window. Not a very good to do. Why is this hard here? Don't we have window activation in here? Oh, it has show activated. Oh, that's why. Handle multiple windows. Yeah, we'll deal with those. We'll deal with those in a moment. That up. Okay, now the better question is how can I reasonably test this? Because in an ideal situation, I want to just fire the sucker up and rock and roll on him and see him work nicely. But I also want to see how this is set up here. So, and the way these things are being picked up is with tools from assembly. So this is using reflection to reach across and grab it. It's the visual tree. And what does this guy look like? All tool result. Structured content. Interesting. Get visual tree. Tree2 string. Oh, interesting. Okay. As you can see, Copilot wrote a good chunk of this. What I would like to do here is let's build this sucker, and then I should be able to pop open a session, then play with this. So if I go here, I go MCP servers, and I go add a server, should be able to say local, and then we'll call it XAMLTest, and then it should be able to just give it the fully qualified path. What's that? Because that should just reach across. Full window. Bin debug. I just want to confirm that this is going to do exactly what I expect. If I do this, I come in here and go XAMLTest.mcp.exe. Oh. Off to the races. Okay. So, all I should have to do here, I realize this is deeply nested in a work tree, so that's fine. That's fine. It's fine. We're fine. I should be able to do this. I should be able to do this. I should be able to do this. I don't need to pass any argument. We're going to add the server, and then we are going to close out of here, and we're going to start a quick chat. Let's see here. Maybe we'll go interactive for the moment. I am building or how about I want to prototype a WPF application. Use XAML test tools to create a simple login screen and launch it. I'm curious if this will let me, because this is ideally what I would like. And I don't know if it's going to be, because I'm doing this in a quick chat, so there is no directory associated with this. Oh, that is utterly slick. That is slick. Okay. Okay, here. Now we're cooking with fire. Now we're cooking with fire. Let's have some fun here. Uh I want to also add a tab control with registration. Save the running window with the tab layout. Login tab registration. Save screenshot. Grab a shot and show it. Me. Oh, people. This is what I. Done. I captured the screenshot. Where is it? Let me guess. The screenshot functionality is not working well. There, grabbing one. It isn't safe to have returns an inline image attachment in the chat UI. There's no PNG on disk by default. If it didn't render on your side, that's why you don't see a location to open. Future of programming. I think there is, well, I think it's a balance because again, as I've been referring to it today, Dunce Pilot. There is a number of times it absolutely gaslights me, but there is absolutely something to be said that when given appropriate tools, it can do work. It needs good tools and good direction because I have also found that when it doesn't have access to the right tools, it tries to do some absolute it's like my new puppy who's very eager to please. It really wants to do the thing and it will try all kinds of wacky stuff when it wants to it wants its treat and it wants to try to do a thing. The fact that this works, let's see. What is the background color of the login button? You'll note I even one word. So element query login button background. Oh me the XAML of the login component. This is did it actually do it correctly? So maybe entire tab control. So let's see. Images not rendering, which is an interesting problem. This is pretty slick. This is pretty slick. Now I got to figure out how we're gonna ship this sucker. Because I kind of want to ship this as global tool. So I need to update the pipelines accordingly to that. But this is a pretty slick thing. Okay. Let's see. Go here. So this is where we're gonna have some wacky inception, right? Like I've got a running instance of this app, launching it in this chat window, and this chat window is gonna then try to go and leverage it, which is not gonna cause any problems at all. And And I am realizing I have kind of shot myself in the foot by pointing at the debug directory because that process is going to stay running. I'm going to have to go kill it. That's okay. I am not seeing the screenshot image when I prompt for it my agent. To the save screenshot. Cool. That merged. Great. Through block API, so we don't need this work tree anymore. That can go away. And then because this is an embedded resource block, and this guy is using a call tool result. So as long as this is the right return value, embedded into a prompt or tool, how to best render the embedded resource for the benefit of the LLM and or user. That feels wrong. Go back up here. Research for an MCP tool. What is the best way to turn images like screenshots? I'm actually curious a little bit. If I go here, what does Playwright do? Let's see. Do I have them added? No. Add server. Oh, nope. I want to popular servers. They're probably right in front of me. Elemento Playwright. You. Add server. Do the needful. Add the server. Pull down all the stuff. I think this showed that it was an MP. Oh, this is a bug in the latest version. This is an annoying bug. This is one of the lovely bits about playing with technical preview software. Sometimes something went wrong. Yeah, that's fine. Come back down here. Oh, did it actually pull it out of my list since I've added it? Delete, move. I come down here again and I click. Let's see. So Playwright, NPX, Playwright, MCP latest. Really just kind of want to know what they do to be able to do this. Let's see here. You've got a format mismatch in save screenshot that like to root cause. Screenshot bytes come from host as a bitmap. Tool labels that as a JPEG. It returns an embedded resource block instead of an image content block, as many agents only render images image content. Oh. Bring an image content. That looks like probably what I want. But let's close this down. And I am actually going to pop my task manager. I am going to. This is one of the joys of this because MCP servers get started for you. Our long running processes. I need to be able to compile. Because I've pointed my server at my debug directory, that's a problem. Let's see, research request. Inline image content in the call to a result content with base64 data. Use resource link Process resource read binary when images are large, numerous, and need stable reuse, including optional annotations, audience priority, the short. Okay. So that looks like it is exactly in line with this. Oh, did it seriously go update the file by writing PowerShell? Oh my word. Again, sometimes the way the agent goes through and does this is, in my opinion, some of the hardest possible ways you could go through and accomplish this. Why are you thinking so hard? Well, you shut up for a minute. It may come as a shock to you, but I don't need to wait. Believe it or not, I can, like, do code too. Let's see here. Captures a screenshot and returns it as I don't know that we need this at all. Get rid of that. I think we can get rid of this. This is still going to do app service, known app, get screenshot. I think I am going to put this in here just as a reminder to me to not screw this up. And then that looks fine, that looks fine, that looks fine. Grab this, this, do this, build. Great. That is now built. Go back to here, back to the top. Copy, do quick chat, paste, send it. Morning, JC. We are attempting to do C# inception with MCP servers. And it's not bad. I'll give it this. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. Let's see. Shot and show me. I suspect without it focusing the window, the screenshot would be a little boring, but I'm really at this point, I just want to see it show me the screenshot. Files in current scratch directory. That's garbage. This is no output. Interesting that that's no output. Why would it be no output? This it did call. Oh. I mean, it captured a thing. Desktop capture. I'm taking an app-only screenshot now. Yeah, because that's not right. That's my OBS window. Find/window. Capturing desktop. Interesting. That is very much not right. So it is interesting here. It is falling back and using WinForms to be able to grab pixels from the screen. I can render directly. Interesting. Okay, so did it not update properly or what? There is the question. Let's hear if we can find. Let's see. Bug. Patch to process. Then I would like to do XAMLTest MCP. There's only one running. And we're going to grab this guy here. And we're going to come back over here. Take screenshot again. Hopefully, hit that breakpoint. Because that would be really, really convenient. Hey, look at that, breakpoint. Okay, so find that. We find the main window, which is good. We're not really handling it much. We take a screenshot. This actually grabs a whole bunch of bytes. Great. We save it in the memory stream. We get the image data. We get a whole bunch of bytes. And then we return back image. What is interesting to me is this shows no output. That is very interesting that it is not showing it. I also found it interesting. My process just died when I hit stop there. Why? Let me go back to my research here real quick. Best is image content in the with base 64 data, an accurate MIME type of image. So, move you over here for a moment. So this guy here, image content from bytes. I assume this thing must base 64 encode if they're asking for bytes in here. Because it must know the right. That's the wrong thing. Content block. Image content block from bytes, MIME type. The unencoded image bytes. Okay. Is decoded data and lazily encodes them to base 64 UTF bytes for data. So it will do the base 64 encoding bits for me. Come back over here. Still failing to get the image to render. View. Let's go here and split view. Because I am missing something here on use resource link and resources read binary blob. Must be missing something on my what I know about the MCP spec. While it thinks about its life, we're gonna poke around over here instead. This guy comes in here, sets it up, encode to base 64. So it actually has the decoded data dot value. So this guy here, read-only memory, pulls the value out, encodes them. I'm going to just assume that this method does exactly what it says. Returns back the value. Great. Then decoded data should go right back the other direction. Sure, fine. Screenshot 4. I mean, this hasn't really changed the important bit here. The only other thing it did is it re-encoded it as, so it pulls the image stream. Tools returning bitmap inline. I'm switching it to PNG inline plus a short text companion for which is more likely to render across clients. Interesting. Because I, like, just to be clear, I own this method. Like, this is not. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. I can change this implementation if we need to, or provide an overload or similar. Oh, can't tolerate that. Can't tolerate that. Clean that up now. Thank you. Because the only reason it's a bitmap is because I have encoded it as such. Oh, it's not good that I'm yawning. I've been getting up an extra hour or two early to walk my new puppy, and it is tiring. Okay, so okay, that builds there. Okay, let's come back here. Come back here. I'll grab this. I want to just get rid of this chat. I don't need it. Create a new one. Launch it. Then take a screenshot and show me. Oh, full send. And then if it doesn't work, we will automatically attach. Because one of the fun things, so in Task Manager, right, as soon as this thing launches, I'm seeing the MCP get started because that's effectively how this works. Is the agent is then responsible for firing up the MCP config, which in this case, I don't know if it's going to die. Hands up, no touchy. You'll note I've got now 3 different login screens. This one it actually went a little further on. Let's see, save screenshot, screenshot for app 1. So it is getting the result back. And it is not rendering. I wonder if this is a result of, this could be the result of the client that I'm using. Save the shot to disk. See if it has the bytes and it's just failing to render it. Because if it has the bytes, that's a different story. Uh-oh. Why is it calling get element? An error occurred invoking get element property. This should, one, I don't understand why that doesn't work. List visible windows. Oh, dear heavens. It decided to write some Gary P invoke code and then just PowerShell invoke it. Excellent. I was worried. That is not what we want. I would like you to not leverage that. We're going to just stop you. So I'm going to go with you did not do what I wanted. Let's see here. Oh, it killed the running process. So when it killed it, the app died. That's interesting. That's generally desired behavior, but I don't know that it's Launch the app. Pick it back up. And then I kind of want to attach and debug a handful of these issues. Let's see. Wow, is he a 15 stream streak? I hate the Copilot always uses PowerShell to modify text. I keep having issues with it messing up my UTF-8 characters. Yeah, and that's part of like the agent attempts to accomplish its mission, and it's got a handful of tools, and one of which is like scripting with PowerShell, which is fine, except it, but that's why I want other tools like this, so that rather than it trying to always, like hammer in the screw, I would rather give it a screwdriver. Yeah, so all my mechanical and electrical symbols go silly. Yeah, and the thing is, like, PowerShell is difficult to get the escaping right, especially when you've got new lines and CLIs and everything like layered on top. It is difficult to get all of those things through. And I've watched Copilot wrap itself around the axle just trying to figure out how to deal with all of the levels of escaping. And it's painful. Um, it's like, oh, good. I'm not the only one who finds that difficult and hard to use. Okay, I would like to grab here. Debug. Let's see. Attach to process. CP. Give me. If I go here, take a screenshot. It should hit my breakpoint. Give screenshot. That's the right tool. Oh, why didn't it hit my breakpoint? Oh. The current source code is different from the version built here. Interesting. Just the Copilot chat window, not the standalone WPF window login screen itself. Yeah. Um, that might not be wrong, but it still didn't render it. And just want to verify something real quick. Just hypothetical. You are the right place, right? Bin debug net 10 Windows. That looks correct. Silver giggle, because obviously this is very much a silver tongued giggle as far as I can tell. We're gonna stop this, rebuild, and you should be blocked. My output window up there. It goes on the bottom. Yeah, so it is locked by process. I should be able to close this and see it unlock. Did it not unlock? Did not. End task. Now it should unlock. Great. Now, let's see. The app in. I am wondering if I actually do want the screenshot to go to disk though, rather than returning it. Like I think I probably want to enable all options of save to disk, slap on clipboard, um, or return back to client. Because returning back to client is incredibly helpful at times. Launching the app again via WPF. Oh no 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 no. Oh dear heavens! No 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 no. Launch with XAMLTest. Let's be real clear here, Dunce Pilot. That is absolutely. They were removed, so I can't launch until they're re-enabled. All because I hit stop. Okay, fine. Go away. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. And show it. There's the process firing. Silver giggle. Debug. Net 10. Windows. Great. All the things. Silly question. Does Copilot have limited memory? Do you mean memory in the case of like RAM? Because it's no different than any other application. Or if you mean memory as far as how far back it can remember in a conversation, the answer is yes, but it's not a Copilot limitation. It is a context window limitation. So every model, yeah, how far back? Yeah, so every model has a context window size that it can hold, which effectively how far back in the conversation can it look. See you, JC. And so you will see things that do tend to fall off the back. With that said, the Copilot clients will attempt to compact, like in some clients like Claude or otherwise, it'll actually show you how much of your context window have you consumed. Copilot will actively compact its chat session, effectively summarize what it's done up to a given point. That way, even though the stuff may fall off the back, it still has that summary that it can go back to. It also has access to things like uh, Chronicle. I thought it was Chronicle. It may only be in the CLI. Um, the I go here, Copilot. Yes, remember. Yes. Um, yeah. So there is things in here, at least in the CLI, where it will take. So the Chronicle command takes sessions and shoves the information into a SQLite database to make it easy for it to be able to like recall and pull back information and that sort of thing. It also does have like Chronicle stand up for when you forget what you want to give for your stand up update. So that's very convenient. Apparently, it does not exist in the Copilot app yet, which is disappointing. Um, but yeah, I have a file that contains rules, but it seems to forget them after each prompt. It's I get so if it's after each prompt, I would be curious to know how big like your instruction files or otherwise are that are being pushed in, because and which model it is, because every model has a different size context window of how much it can handle. And so if what you are doing is exceeding that context window, then yes, that somewhat makes sense. That's sort of the premise around some of the things like spec kit and otherwise, because one of the hardest things is getting the right context into the model at the right time, because sometimes you want it to be specific and focused in on one thing, and sometimes you want it to back up and kind of have a bigger picture thing. And so it's not always trivial to know what bit of context to load in. That's one of the advantage of skills, is that skills are a way of kind of having this ad hoc load of information when it's needed, because in your context window a skill just has a title and the description, and that's all that gets loaded in, and then all the extra information about the skill gets brought in ad hoc as the agent decides, yes, this is the tool that I'm going to use. Now I'm effectively going to go read the instruction manual for how to use the tool. I'm not going to try to read the instruction manual for all my tools until I know that I need to read it. Let's see. It's my agent directives file in my new Enigma MG one. Um, okay. Is it like an agent's MD, or I think Claude uses a Claude MD at the repo root, if I remember correctly, as its kind of top level instructions, or are you just manually bringing it in? Because there is sort of there's tiering of the instructions that get brought in, and so there is kind of a last in wins in a lot of cases type situation, which is generally good because last in means you can, do things like have the later prompt override something in the earlier prompt. It's because I switch, I have a single file used to start my session. Okay, got it. So you're effectively bringing that file in just as context every time. It may be worth considering. I guess it depends on what is in the file per se, right? Because the things that you would generally put in like an Agents MD or a Claude MD tend to be the bigger, higher level stuff. And then you use alternate files like instructions and skills when you have more specific things that you want to have happen. Like, for example, you've got some .NET coding standards you want to enforce in your C# files. You wouldn't necessarily put that in your top level file, but you would put it in an instructions file that is now scoped to C# files. That way it's only ever being brought in at the points it's needed. You can still run into the same problem even by spreading it out across different files. Just kind of gives ways of mitigating it. Because like I said, you do always have the issue of context windows being too small. With that said, I guess because if you're on a Claude model, like a Sonnet model or otherwise, has a pretty big. Let me look at this. Sonnet 4.6 window size. It's a big. 4.6. Looks like these are rules like never execute non-real and get commands explicit user approval. Okay. Then probably should be there. Like if you're using something like a Sonnet 4.6, it should have something like 200,000 for its context window size. And bear in mind, 200,000 is token count, which oftentimes a token is kind of a word count, but not really. 9 big rules with rationale. 9? That's not very many. I'd be surprised. So unless you've got a tiny model or other, which Claude model are you using then, Izzy? Because that shouldn't be that big of an issue. I will say things like haiku do tend to be, but there is a lot of text. Yeah, but are we talking hundreds of thousands of words or tens of thousands of words or hundreds? Because if it's there is also, what is the name of it? This code. There is a tool you can grab inside of VS Code, and I'm looking for it. Customizations, I think is what it was. Code. Sorry, I'm trying to find this guy. This is the guy. You can grab this guy here. It can go through and take a look at what you've put in your markdown files and give some analysis about which ones. Oh, look at that. Agent directives. It is. It is a big. It is definitely a little big. Sorry, I'm just kind of looking through. There is a outline. Primary director, tertiary. Because some of these might work better as because there is quite a bit in here. As I tell it that it's been naughty. Yeah, I would potentially advocate for moving some of this stuff into skills or otherwise because some of these are the 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 fundamental problem with a lot of markdown is you always have the issue of running um running out of space, especially as everything gets loaded in. There is one other thing, grab it here real quick, that might be very useful. What it's about to load. Let's see here. Bit. Oh, pilot. There is a feature in VS Code bug that a colleague of mine was showing me. There is a way to effectively debug the chat session. Problem is when you search for it, you get debugging with Copilot, which is not the uh, and it shows you, where is it? I might have to ask him what the magical command was that he punched into mine. There is a over here. If we go preferences, settings, it was down inside of Copilot. And stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop it. Where is it? Dangerously skip, blah, blah, blah. Which I found to be incredibly helpful because you can see what it's doing and where the tokens are going and how things are being used, which was really cool because it gave a lot of insight into how the agent was working, which is something that you don't always get to see. The problem is I haven't been using VS Code quite as much and had to go and enable it on my other machine for me because I didn't have it there, and I really should have done it because then I would have actually learned what it was. The tool set, image upload, fix. Victor, yes, yes, you can. So, and you have, Victor, you actually have access to the recording where it was shown. It was the AI meeting earlier this week. That's the one you want. No, well, not the AI meeting, the company meeting, the AI minute that Ben ran. It was the thing that he blitzed through at the very end. Um, the thing that he didn't show is turning it on because he did that ahead of time because he didn't want to wait for the agent to run, so he had pre-done the session, which was good because we none of these look right. I don't think this is the right option. I'll have to ping him. Oh, oh, got it. Thank you, Victor. Um, then simplify the rules to point to those instead. Also consider moving my Copilot directory into the GitHub agent folder so it's all together. So the only thing about that is that you'll want to be careful of is if you put it in one of GitHub's well-known folders, it may indirectly load things on you that you don't want. Because it does, even though it says that it only looks for .agent.md, I've seen it pick up just arbitrary MD files in those directories. So if you do move it inside of .github, I might tell you to take it, unless it's going to be a markdown file that conforms to Copilot's schema for their markdown file headers, I would potentially load it in. Sorry, I'm trying to find what the heck. This code view agent session. I'm trying to find the option for where these things go because it is a wonderful tool and I do not remember how to get it enabled. And as far as I'm aware, it only exists inside of the VS Code Copilot experience, not in any of the other ones, because it is very much yes, this. Found it. This thing. This is what you want. This is what you want right here. So this is because this is incredibly helpful to see what it's loaded, what the tool calls are. The other thing that can bite you as well is a lot of MCP tools loaded in because those things can be eating up quite a bit of context window space. So that could also be affecting what's going in. But you can see everything that's going in. The system prompt, the user prompt, which you probably know what your user prompt is, all attached context, complete tool invocation payloads. You can see all the data flowing back and forth, which is awesome. And I am trying to remember. Yeah, token usage, tool invocation order, custom file discovery errors. The chat interactions, Copilot chat, agent debugging. Yes, this is, I think, the setting that he was turning on my system. Settings. Really? Do I have to have an extension installed for this? Oh, it's probably because it's preview and I don't have the preview. I bet you that might be the thing. And ask what's, yeah. Yeah, / troubleshoot and ask what's blowing up the context. Yeah, that is probably worthwhile. And this is something fairly new as well. So you may, if you are not finding it, you may end up needing to live in the VS Code preview bits to play with it or be patient. Yes, because this flow here, this debug panel, being able to see this flow chart of everything going back and forth and expanding out and looking in at these, this is what he was showing off. So, yeah. So being able to look at your request, your input tokens, your output tokens, how many cache hits, all of that stuff is available to you. I'll put this link in the chat too. So I would try that as well, Izzy, and see if that is also biting you with it, because that certainly could be a related issue. I'm going to put this one down. Yeah, even more text to read to slow me down. Yes, but helpful text. And hopefully then it gives more space for you to put other stuff into the context. Right? The other one, especially with some of this that I will highlight, um the where is it? Don't I see it? Oh, because I can't spell. That's why. Um, so this guy here is potentially worth taking a look at. So the and I think I'd mentioned this one before, is especially for people who are spending a ton of time putting together large amounts of markdown to try to structure their agents to get it into place. SpecKit is doing that on steroids, of very much trying to have a very strong structured organization to it. And one of the key problems that they are trying to solve is that issue of, how do I get the right context to my agents at the right time? How do I split up this information across various markdown files? Because I think their base one is called their constitution file, if I remember right, where it is kind of those higher level directions, and then they break it down further than that. They've got their own CLI to try to like set up the repositories and get things in the right place. Um, but it is very much trying to solve that problem in a particular way. I don't think anybody has completely cornered what the right answer is yet. This is just one option that looks like it's getting a decent amount of investment and traction, and so it's, I would say, worth keeping an eye on. Okay. Images not working. This guy is now built. Let's see. This guy did do screenshot for app 1. I want to it to me with a dark theme. See if it will, because I need it to relaunch the app here. Because part of me is tempted to go through and change this so that it doesn't. This app service manager is somewhat actually problematic. The fact that it's shutting down the apps. I almost want to switch the way this is working so that rather than trying to keep track of running apps in an in-memory dictionary, it's something that's actually persisted to disk instead. It didn't do half bad. That is definitely a dark theme. And now that it's started, debug. Let's see, attach to process. Oh boy, I don't know which one it is. Attach to both. Because I don't know which one it is. I create lots of discussions for my pincushion sessions later today. Oh boy. Okay. Grabs a screenshot, takes it, does the memory stream, bitmap. We get back the bytes, right? I don't know if that's right, but that's, 370,000 bytes. Sounds like an image. I'll capture it again so the dark thing is rendered inline here. You pause on a break. Holy crap. That's creepy level, knowing that I paused it on a breakpoint. Please disable the breakpoint. Dear heavens, Copilot, you freaking show off. Okay, you still didn't render it. Why is this so problematic? Why are you so problematic on your image content bytes? Like it's the thing is it was able to take a screenshot from um let's do this. Let's do string file path. Um let's see here. Description optional file path location where to save the image. Inline. Just change it so it understands what's going on here. Yeah, shut up. And we're going to skip this question, stop the running application, kill the MCP, let it die. Okay. That goes there. I don't know that I need any of this. Let's see here. BMP stream. Wait a minute, we already got the BMP stream. Why are we doing this kind of garbage? There, that goes like that. And then what we are going to do is if file path not null, file write all bytes. And then we are going to rebuild this and try it again. Because I do wonder if I can work around this by just outputting to disk. Okay. Let's see here. So we are going to whack this guy here, do this, put this in, take a screenshot, and save it to a temp folder. We'll give it best possible prompting, and hopefully it goes and does the needful. This is where it's missing a bomb or similar. I seriously hope that isn't the case. I really, really hope that isn't the case. It I'm not gonna eliminate it as a possibility. Like it is. I do like that it understands this. Oh, that's pretty. Again, I'm not like see the prompt here, and it goes. Okay, did you actually write that to disk? Sure. Open in photos. Okay. I mean, it took a screenshot and it saved it to disk. So that much does work. I will say the number of close buttons visible when I do this is kind of ridiculous level inception. So that messes with my head. So it did do that because when it went to save the screenshot, it did send in a file path. So that works. Color layout. I want to see a we'll see how this goes. Oh. So this is something I've actually seen happen a bunch of times. And the solution is you click off and you click back on. And then you literally give it the same prompt. Toggling, something about toggling from auto, like I think it's related to the auto. And I've reported the issue. There's been other people who have reported similar issues with different reproduction steps in different areas. So I don't know exactly what's going on. But I do know that generally when I run into these types of weird exceptions, if I've been on auto, I toggle to something not auto and then I toggle back. And magically, we now have fuchsia. So that's terrifying. And it's once again written out a. This one here is. If I open that up, it should. Oh, did that? Yeah, so it took the screenshot, but it's taking the screenshot of the entire window. Uh, on the 7th level of Inception. Okay, so that's this is better. It's not great, but I think it is good enough that I could merge this and then start iterating on it. Okay, so we have this. Uh, let me go here and jump in here, do this, and then I think I'm gonna rebase this guy on top, and then yeah, commit changes, and then we want to rebase onto master, push, force push, force push. What are you targeting? Set target branches. In master, I believe is where we want to be. There, that fixes that problem. Then we'll come back here. We'll do make the PR for me. We could have done it. I guess I could have done it in Kraken. I was already there. Boom, boom, boom. Might have been faster in Kraken to go to and do it. Because this thing's going to spend a little bit of time thinking. But this thing hopefully also has the merge button. But while this guy is going, then yeah, I should have done it in Kraken. That way I could get this guy prompted. Okay. I need to be able to ship the MCP as its own .NET global tool. I want to look here real quick. Yeah, reload. Fine. Do your thing. This guy should be set up. Because I need the MCP. How is this gonna work? Because the MCP tool still needs to be able to process start XAMLTest. If it's going to be used as a global tool, it needs access to the XAMLTest executable and otherwise. So I either need to bundle those together and ship that as well, which is probably what I should do. Hey, Society Dog, how you doing? Trying to decide what I want the end result of this to be. What does package type MCP server actually do? It MC server. Weekend here now, so great. That is wonderful. Glad to hear that. Model context. I don't want that. I kind of just want to understand what this actually does when you publish a package as an MCP server. Like, I realize it does some metadata stuff and lets you filter and all of that stuff, but is that really, in order to be able to pack the MCP server package, you need to add an optional server.json file in an MCP folder in your project to help users consume and launch your MCP. Okay. So I need this inside of here as well, which I don't believe I have. Or I do have exactly that. So this is clearly all messed up and not useful. We'll need to clean that up. Let's see. Pull request conflicts. There are conflicts. How the heck are there conflicts? Did you make a have it? So right now the MCP server is effectively exposing my XAMLTest tooling out to my agent. So being able to do things like start an app. Well, so for example, the sample that we've been kind of feeding in is prototype a WPF application, use XAMLTest, make a login screen, launch it, and take a screenshot. Right? So it's been spinning and launching because XAMLTest has all of those capabilities to let you iterate on sections of XAML and have it up and running. Because I suspect, and this has not been proven yet, but I have a strong suspicion that giving my agent this kind of tool will make its capabilities of working inside of the material design and XAML projects significantly better, because it will be able to take those XAML snippets and throw them into a running app and have it work. So that is my suspicion, because that's what I'm doing manually. And generally, if I can automate away what I'm doing manually, that's probably better. Okay. And obviously, there's an update, so we have to immediately do it. And then I have to, this is why I need to, let's go up here. Because I don't think it'll let me, I don't think you can change your target branch once this thing is created. Yeah, so we're just going to throw this away. Yeah, no. Close pull request. Like I said, I should have just done it in Kraken so that it didn't do the stupid thing. Bad agent. Start pull request. Do the needful. The hard part though is the MCP server is simple. I can build and deploy that. What I am trying to figure out is what I do, because my MCP server tools need the rest of my XAMLTest library there. And so it's kind of a weird situation where if you're using it inside of a repository where XAMLTest is present, ideally I would want it to use that. But if it's not present, well, but I guess it can't use the one from the library, because if I ever changed a tool, it has to have access to its own interaction. Thinking. Because in some ways, I'm trying to model this after the Aspire MCP, where they have a fairly slick little MCP tool that goes along with their CLI, that looks for running app hosts and then interacts with it and effectively kind of marshals it out to each of those. And I think that's where mine is somewhat going wrong, is because it's starting directly and let's see here. Auto merge, confirm auto merge. You imagine how stuff like this is in 2 years' time? Yeah, I certainly can see it. I keep having debates with people who use phrases like, just imagine when we never have to look at the code again, and I'm just watching my agent fail to make a correct pull request going, I don't trust it that much. It does write code a lot faster than I can. I'll give him that. Let me see, did they fix the MCP bug? Nope. Nope, they didn't fix that one yet. That part's annoying. I'm starting to get I get very expectant that they're just going to fix my bugs immediately. Here, let's go here. I haven't changed my theme yet today, and if you scroll down, you can hit the dice roll. Ooh, that's ugly. Try again. That's okay. We'll go with that one. Yeah, no, it certainly has, and I do think that because everybody talks about how like last November, December timeframe, like when Opus hit, there was a big breakthrough, and I agree there was a breakthrough. I just feel like the breakthrough was AI was no longer garbage. It actually like reached the point where we stopped having the debate about whether it was saving time or costing time. Uh, Now one can't live without them. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. Yeah, I do have a strong suspicion though that efficiency is going to be the next battleground for AI, where it will all be about how can I get the most for my tokens, right? Of can I have something that breaks down my tasks appropriately and delegates, the simple stuff to the easy models, the hard stuff to the hard models, right? And there's this level of trying to get work done in that manner. I suspect is where the next step is. Because right now there's not a lot of great tooling around doing that, and there needs to be some tooling catch up. Um uh I'm still using the MCP tool I showed you, but now they put in a limit. Yeah. See, and I'm not horribly surprised. And again, it looked pretty cool, but I have a slight bias towards mine. Um yeah, a way to set model credit if it does the wrong thing. I think the hard part though for that is wrong and right is very much on a spectrum, right? So how far wrong before it would count as being wrong? Because oftentimes I expect my agent to make mistakes, but I also expect that it's going to run 80% of the way for me. And so like there's give and take there. Like I don't expect it to do perfect, but I also expect that it can probably type out most of the stuff faster than I can type it. So if it's a small simple change, I still go and do it, but if it's something where it's like, yeah, I need to kind of make this globally thing, I might just task an agent with going and doing it. Kind of a question of which is going to take more effort to explain what's in my head or to just go and do it. If I tell it that it's stupid or swear, then tell it to try again, it does it for free. Ah, there's the kicker. Yes, how happy is the user at the end of the session? Um, uh, or if I ask it to do something, it only does half of it. Yeah, I will say I had a great like I've got a chat at work where it's basically filled with screenshots of uh, Copilot making mistakes. There was one I gave it where I think we had done some work, we had gotten it to the point, and I was like, great. Take these changes, open a pull request, link it to this PBI, set autocomplete on the PR, basically do the needful. And it went through, and it's like I did all of the steps, and I went and looked, and it did all of the steps except for the with these changes part. Like it made a branch, it created a PR, it did all the things. It just didn't bother to commit any of the work. And I was like, you idiot. The most important step in that process. was with these changes. You did, you missed the most important part. So it's one of those. It's like, I, yeah, it'll get better, but it's still there's a number of like again, I expect it to make mistakes, and so I'm not surprised when it happens. But I'm also aware that that the number of times it gets it right and does those things, it generally is saving me some time. Like I think on average, 30 to 40%, which is not insignificant, right? Like I do not think that is an insignificant bump. Don't get me wrong. I just don't believe it's the 10x that some people are advertising. Maybe I'm biased. It's like were people really that slow that they can have their performance 10x'd? Maybe I don't know. It feels weird. Okay, so I think I've talked myself into the situation that this one is going to need to have all of the stuff. Just be happy you're not slow. Thank you. Thank you, Society Dog. I like to think I'm not completely slow. I'll put it that way. I think then for this nougat package, I'm going to have to package up my XAMLTest stuff on top of the MCP server and ship it all together. I think is where it's going to end up needing to land. Because where did we on the app tools for the start app start remote? Because it's making the assumption in here that it has XAML path. Yeah, so it is assuming that it knows where this thing is. And it's most happy when it can find it alongside of itself. Because it is absolutely making the assumption that this thing is here and this thing is leverageable. I asked it to do a to-do to my list and then sync with the repo local state folder. It updated the handoff file and nothing else with links that pointed to the files that didn't exist. I, I think the way I was having a discussion with somebody this week, and I just I described Copilot as it's like if anybody's ever read Arabian Nights, a genie, like it will you give it a prompt and it will grant you your wish. Sometimes in the most malicious of ways. Like will it do what you tell it? Yes. Will it do it the way you want it to do it? Well, that's debatable. That part is absolutely debatable. Okay, additional to assemblies is not null, where it's not null to array. Wait, this could return null? That doesn't seem. Really? Oh, it's because it doesn't know that is not null is a null check. Got it. Very good description. Yeah. I think that is the best way I can describe it right now is it's like we've got our little genies and they will attempt to do the things in sometimes the most malicious of possible ways. Okay. Speaking of malicious things and agents, let's see. You did the PR, you did the needful. Pop a new session now, I believe. Just make sure that merged. Oh, pipeline fail. What did you fail on? What did you fail on? Hack. Missing a readme. Let's see. Pack as tool does not support target platform identifier being set. For example, target framework cannot be Net5 Windows, only Net5. Pack as tool also doesn't support use WPF, use Windows Forms when targeting Net5 or higher. Well, that's gonna be a problem. That is, huh? Okay. So, can I get away with this if I just turn off pack as tool and call it a day? Let's try that for the moment. Uh, let's see. I had one that decided to delete one of my directories and then suggested it was my fault as it didn't recall deleting anything. Yep. Yeah, there is yes. I think there's a complete list of gaslighting that AI very much enjoys doing. I don't know if it enjoys as much. Um let's go back here, terminal. And then I just want to run .NET pack because that is where my pipeline failed. Um because I should be able to do this and confirm that it works before I push. Because right now, I think I'm just interested in getting it to pack, even if I'm not pushing it yet. Let's see. Icon file, icon PNG does not exist. Well, that's just dumb. Let's see here, because this one here, where is icon PNG? Because it's this guy here that we need, and probably need it in here as well. Let's see here. Bring ding. I think we can probably just put this in here and not have it in its own item group. Doesn't seem to be hugely important. Try again. And hopefully this guy goes through. Okay, while he's thinking, I gotta show this off again. I'm very, very happy about it. This weekend, I adopted a pup. Her name is Gilly. She is an adorable little Bloodhound Airedale Terrier mix at 9 months old. She wasn't happy about the bath, but we did it anyway, so she tolerated it. And there's me, Cody, and her hanging out on the porch, just sleeping. So she has been an absolute joy. It's also the reason I am tired because I've been getting up an extra hour early to go and walk her in the mornings. And that's tiring on a number of levels. Okay, that fixes that problem. Okay, great. Let's see. Stage, amend previous, push. Okay, so that should get that going. Okay, while we are in here, I need to set up the, what is that stupid file called? The dot, oh, actually I can add it, can't I? Server.json. Yep. Need it with all of the valid values, make them match or make them follow the XAMLTest NuGet values. Anyway, it's time for me to entertain the mini me on Roblox. See you, Izzy. Have a good one. Like I said, I'll reach out to you on Discord and chat about the Enigma stuff. I'll let that guy build that up, and he will get that going. Then I think, because this thing did... It packed. Where did it put... Get a Borg, repo. I'll update both. Placeholder values. Yeah. Make them be better. Oh, you get her username, your repo name. I don't. I. It is interesting. I wonder if that is how that is expected to go. But that's fine for now. That's fine for now. Might just push that in. Sample. Da da da. That's fine. That's fine. Oh, it updated the project file for me too. Great. I'll go start my day with a shower before waking the missus so we can have some breakfast. Glad to make it your stream this time. Sounds good, Society Dog. Always good to see you. Have a good night. Push that guy there. Now commit and push. Ha, beat you to it. Too slow. What are you going to try to do? Get stressed and diff. Ha. Beat you to it. Beat you to it. Sleep slow. Went in time. Okay. That went through there. Okay. Now we... Well, I guess what I want to do is look at my... Show me the XAML MCP. Oh, not show me the XAML. XAML test. MCP dot. Where is the? I ran a .NET pack. Why do I not have a? Why do I not have a NuGet package? Why do I not have a NuGet package? Feels like I should have a NuGet package here. All right, once I pack, .NET pack is supposed to make me a NuGet package. Why am I not finding one? Oh, it's because before I packed before setting up the name, so the NuGet packages have the wrong names. Okay, that's fine. Let's pop this guy open now because I want to see what all he went in with. So there's that. There's that. There's that. Okay. So that is no bueno because that is not going to work. We need all of the things. I don't know that I need the exe, but the server JSON put. Fine. Where is the... Okay, so... Come on. Delete. Delete. Okay, so... I need the packaging to Actually package up everything, not just the one DLL, the output directory. Because I think if I go back up here and look at release, what I expect is all of the stuff. Look at everything in the output directory for what this will actually need. I'm wondering if what I want to do is to decouple the MCP server from the running XAMLTest app and let the running process start and let the MCP just effectively delegate command. It does mean that there's now an extra hop everywhere, but I'm not sure that that's a bad thing. Because great though. Because we're operating over named pipes, only one thing can connect at a time. Does see, let's see, publish self-contained are published settings, not pack settings. It doesn't do a self-contained publish. So package zip, not all the dependencies. Okay. Yeah, I realize self-contained isn't typical. Yeah, mine has a different expectation. So I'll let you think about what you're doing here. But ideally, what I'd love to see is getting this pushed all the way through. Well, it's thinking about its life and mission. That thing did merge. Excellent. So this looks like it went in late. This is where we are at. I think. I'm gonna let this thing finish and then I'm gonna rebase it on top. It's only the main DLL, no dependencies. Oh man, I am. Oh, excuse me, I am fading fast. Oy vey, oy vey, oy vey. Pack as tool is commented out. Without pack as tool, the pack only includes not all the dependencies. Let me also check. Oh. What did you do? What did you do? Okay, so drop the runtime identifiers, put pack as tool back in, package type .NET tool, tool command name XAMLTest MCP. The .NET pack bundles all the dependencies. Type lets MCP clients recognize this as an MCP server. Okay. Interesting. I did not realize you could set multiple values on a package type. That feels like something that I am this is what I want, I believe. Catalog leaf, Where would you keep? And that's the spec for it, but I want to know what the valid package types are. That does look interesting. The problem I have with a lot of these simplistic ones is these are not the level of helpful that I am looking for. I'm looking for something slightly more advanced. Ah ha ha. Let's take a look at this. This looks more interesting to me. The is MCP. Oh, so it legitimately looks for both. Hmm. Interesting. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Okay. Okay. You still thinking about your life and what'd you do? Package to it. That's a hard SDK limitation. We need a custom target instead. Oh, dear heavens. Now add the custom pack target. Oh, dear heavens. Two issues to fix. Needs a platform version, the package path, and oh, this is going to be a nightmare, isn't it? And this is where I wonder if I could make my server, because if we let the MCP be a client of it rather than the host. What I mean by that is right now the MCP tools, like for example the app tools, when it does start app, it's legitimately just making calls straight into the XAMLTest DLL that it's referencing, which is why this guy here has a target framework set and why this thing then needs a target framework of Windows and things like WPF and otherwise because it's directly going against those options. Hit 10 Windows 7 any recursive. Oh, vey, oy vey, oy vey. That is including all the transitive dependencies. NuGet package fixed. Now bundles all the dependencies. Committed and pushed. I'm glad you did that. Now that you've done that, we're going to rebase you. Oh, actually, abort rebase. We are going to interactive rebase you, and I would like to not have any of these commits. Because only the last two are what matter. Great, fine. Force push, go. Now we are back in a happy, clean state, and the world makes sense again. Bum. I would like to look at whatever it's built now. When did it last build these? 11/23. That looks like, well, the size is significantly bigger. Let's pop it open. Tools, any. And there it has all of the things. And there is the MCP DLL there and the XC. Great. Now, how does it know how to launch it? I don't see. Great. Update the server.j. Yeah, there it is. Server.json. Select this new location. It should point to XAMLTest MCP.exe. Because we should be able to have that work. Because the expectation here is .NET tool install or DNX XAMLTest.mcp, have it come down, have it link, and then you have tools to be able to go through and launch. That's the goal. Make sure I use the right field names. Yeah, where are you getting the spec from? Got it. Okay. That makes sense. Let's see. Look at the schema. STO only has type STOs. Required field. The package argument raised for passing arguments for a NuGet package. It could be .NET. Could specify the path to .exe. But wait, there's a command field. Oh, oh, excuse me. Very tired. Tiredness is not a good thing. It installs. Okay. As long as this thing then packages in nicely, we will just kick another PR for it. Typically invoked by running .NET. Type. Well, it's still clearly trying to work its way through all of these things. I will say the diff view inside of this tool does get very confused when you rebase and merge and do multiple PRs, kind of in a chain string of thought like this. State branch should have figured itself out that it only has 2 commits off of these. But the hard part is no, I think is because it doesn't, when it builds its base, it's still using the base off of when the work tree was created, rather than any sort of knowledge of knowing that it has been rebased on main. Is fine, which is fine. Oh, the update branch actually prompted in to go through and do something. Okay, that should get it going. Oh, 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 oh. Okay, I can actually clean this up and this up here. Oh dear heavens! Trying to do a not delete MCP. Why was the reason? Used by work tree. Got it. Okay, go away. That means I just got to go whack a work tree. Let's see here. This work tree here just needs to be relocated up to here. Then we go back to this work tree here. Now I can delete this branch. Ding ding. Then I don't need this one. We can clean that up. Disable, minimize all. Don't need that one. Can do that. Perf improvements. Great. We don't need that. Now we're much cleaner. We're off to the races. Build is clean. Here's this. Then hopefully the changes now are much simpler and you haven't done anything stupid. But aside from reset, hard, push, force push. We're not doing the merge commit thing. There you go. Okay. There we go. It's onto latest master. There. That should kick it and then make it realize where it's at. But with that said, I don't think there is anything special here. And the next step is going to be getting it published out as a NuGet. But given the fact that I am fading this fast, I should probably go get some sleep, especially since I got to be up in a few hours to go and walk the new little puppy again. So hopefully that was interesting for people. We will be probably poking at this a little bit more because, again, I think it'll help speed up getting through a lot more testing on the material design project once this is all plugged in and going. And maybe it'll serve as a nice template for anybody else who wants to do something similar. So that said, I will tell everybody happy coding. See everyone next time.